The term stakeholder management is dropping out of use. Like many people, I consider it to be disrespectful and prefer to use the term stakeholder engagement. However, the process of stakeholder engagement does need to be managed. And that is what I call Stakeholder Engagement Management. Stakeholder Engagement Management is managing the stakeholder engagement process. So, the role of the Stakeholder Engagement Manager is to do or coordinate a large range of things. These include identifying and analysing the stakeholders that we have, building a stakeholder engagement plan, design, manage, coordinate, lead and evaluate all stakeholder engagement processes, engage with senior and mid-level stakeholders both within and outside of your organisation, and provide support and guidance to other team members in their stakeholder engagement work. On large projects where there are high stakes and you're being very sophisticated in your stakeholder engagement processes, the people you advise and guide might include the project manager or indeed the project sponsor or project director. To keep it simple, I've constructed a blueprint for stakeholder engagement management which consists of 5 stages. First is to set up and facilitate a stakeholder identification and analysis workshop. This includes the design and planning of the workshop, the facilitation during the workshop, and documentation and follow-up of all the work that the team does during the workshop. Facilitation is a core skill for all project managers, and I'll put a link to our video on how to facilitate a good meeting in the description below. Second, we need to craft a stakeholder engagement plan and to also build a stakeholder communication plan which links to that stakeholder engagement plan, which is a more strategic level. The stakeholder communication plan is, if you like, the tactical document which guides what you're going to be doing day to day. It's important that your plans include allocating specific roles and responsibilities, not just for drafting and creating communications, but for building relationships with your stakeholders as you go through the project. Third, the core of the stakeholder engagement manager role is to coordinate all stakeholder engagement activities. This includes designing, planning, overseeing and evaluating all of the stakeholder engagement activities and all of the project communications with your stakeholders. You need to ensure that the right communications happen at the right times and are targeted at the right stakeholders in the right manner. This coordination is essential. An important part of your job and responsibility is to ensure that there are no gaps and there are no mixed messages. This means that for larger projects, you'll probably need to be the owner of some form of communications or stakeholder or customer relationship management database, which will track all the relationships and all of the communications to all of your stakeholders. An important part of this job that I hope you will never have to carry out, but you certainly should be thinking about and planning for in case you do, is to coordinate and lead any crisis management should things go seriously wrong on your project. The fourth step is active day-to-day stakeholder engagement. The stakeholder manager will have their own portfolio of stakeholders with whom they need to build a relationship, engage with and communicate with frequently. And typically, because of your expertise and probably seniority, these will typically be mid to senior tier stakeholders. They will certainly be key stakeholders, essential for the project. As always, we deploy our most experienced, most capable people where they can do the most good. However, a bigger part of this role of engaging with stakeholders is supporting the more junior, less experienced people in fulfilling their own stakeholder engagement role. However, it may not just be the more junior team members. It may be the more senior people, all the way up to project board members who need your support and guidance to engage with their stakeholder relationships effectively. The fifth step is shutdown. Like all important endeavours, at some point we need to close down the things that we're doing in an orderly manner. The last step of the stakeholder engagement management process must therefore ensure that all relationships either come to an end or continue beyond the project in as productive and respectful and positive manner as possible. Leaving a relationship dangling with a sudden end to that relationship is frankly disrespectful, and it's also potentially going to burn that relationship and damage it for any future continuation of that project, or indeed for any future new project that might involve similar personnel or similar practices or similar objectives. Information and records need to be either archived securely or destroyed as appropriate. Whatever choices you make need to conform with any data protection regulations or legislation within your jurisdiction or within the various jurisdictions that the project operates within. I also recommend that you close with a lessons learned or retrospective process to examine your stakeholder engagement. This may be a standalone process, or it may sit within the wider project lessons learned review or retrospective. Stakeholder engagement is an important process within any project, and therefore we need to give some thought to how we're going to manage it. And these 5 steps cover your stakeholder engagement management process. Please do give this video a like if you've learned from it and enjoyed it. I'll be making loads more great project management videos for you, so please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of them. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.